A ruthless millionaire, drowning in champagne and ego, makes the cruelest bet of his life. To marry a random, poor pregnant woman just to prove he can survive the low life for a month. He thinks it's hilarious, a quick $1 million joke among friends. But the moment he locks eyes with her, something shifts. What starts as pure arrogance explodes into jealousy, guilt, and a love he never saw coming. And when the truth about her past crashes in, he's the one left shattered. Stay till the end, because this twist will leave you speechless. In the heart of New York City, Alexander Harrington rules like a king. 35, devastatingly handsome, with sharp blue eyes and a smirk that closes $1 million deals. Alex built his tech empire from nothing, but inherited his cold heart from wealthy parents who never had time for him. Money buys him everything: penthouses, private jets, endless parties. But it never fills the emptiness inside. His friends are just like him: rich, bored, and always chasing the next thrill. One wild night on a rooftop overlooking the city lights. Glasses clink and laughter echoes. His best friend Marcus, already drunk on expensive whiskey, leans in with a dare. "You talk big, Alex. Bet you couldn't handle a real poor girl for even a month. Marry one. Live with her. No escaping to your luxury world. 1 million if you last." The table erupts. Alex, pride burning brighter than the alcohol, slams his hand down. "Deal. Easiest money I'll ever make." Across the bridge in Brooklyn, Elena Ramirez fights a different kind of battle. 28. Naturally beautiful with long dark hair and eyes that carry quiet strength, she waits tables at a greasy diner from dawn till midnight. 5 months pregnant, exhausted, and completely alone. Her ex-boyfriend cheated, then vanished the second she showed him the positive test. Bills pile up, rent is late, and every kick from her unborn baby reminds her she has to keep going, for the little life depending on her. Yet Elena still smiles at customers, still tips the homeless man outside with her last dollar, still dreams of a better tomorrow. Alex needs a target, someone desperate enough to say yes, simple enough not to complicate his game. He ditches the designer suits, throws on jeans and a hoodie, and starts hanging around her diner. Day after day, he watches her move with grace despite the ache in her back. Hears her gentle laugh when an old regular tells a bad joke. She's perfect for the bet. One rainy evening, as she locks up alone, he steps forward. "This is going to sound insane," he says, voice smooth as silk, "but I can't stop thinking about you. Marry me, Elena. I'll give you and your baby everything you need." Her heart races, stranger danger screams in her head, but hope whispers louder. A roof, safety, medical care. She whispers yes. They marry 2 days later in a cold courthouse. No flowers, no guests, just a signature that binds them. Alex moves her into his gleaming penthouse overlooking Central Park. He lays down rules fast: separate rooms. No strings, this is temporary. Elena nods, grateful beyond words. She starts small changes, cooking real meals instead of takeout, placing a cheap vase of daisies on the marble counter, humming lullabies to her belly in the evenings. Alex watches, amused at first, treating her like an exotic pet in his perfect world. But nights get longer. He comes home late from parties, smelling of perfume that isn't hers, and finds her waiting with warm food and no judgment. One night, tipsy and defensive, he snaps, "Why are you so nice all the time?" She looks at him softly. "Because someone has to be." Those words hit harder than he expects. Slowly, walls crack. He tells her about his lonely childhood. She shares dreams of opening a little bakery one day. Laughter starts filling the silent rooms. Meanwhile, Alex keeps proof for the bet. Secret photos, text to Marcus mocking the experiment. And he keeps seeing Victoria, his glamorous ex, slipping out for late-night hookups, telling himself it doesn't count because Elena isn't really his wife. Guilt flickers, but pride smothers it. Then everything tilts. Elena's blood pressure spikes. She collapses at the diner and ends up in the ER. Alex gets the call and, for reasons he can't explain, drops everything to rush there. He holds her hand while machines beep, fear clawing his chest. "Don't you dare leave," he mutters, voice breaking. Doctors stabilize her, but the scare changes him. He starts showing up, doctor visits, foot rubs, reading baby books in secret. Elena feels it too. She falls hard, seeing the man beneath the armor. Late nights turn tender. They talk until sunrise. But one evening, while charging his phone, she sees notifications: Victoria's name, heart emojis, hotel addresses. Pain slices through her. She waits until he comes home, eyes red. Tell me the truth, Alex. Am I just a game? He tries to lie, but her quiet strength breaks him. The bet spills out, every cruel detail. Tears roll down her cheeks, but she doesn't scream. I saw something good in you, she says, voice trembling. Don't let that die. Instead of leaving, she stays. And that unconditional choice wrecks him more than any anger could. Alex ends things with Victoria for real this time. He starts choosing Elena every day, small acts, big promises. Jealousy flares when her ex suddenly reappears, texting that he wants to be part of the baby's life now that she's living better. Alex's protective side roars awake, but his own cheating past hangs like a dark cloud, waiting for the storm. As the baby grows bigger inside her, so does the love between them, or so it seems. But secrets have a way of surfacing, and the biggest one isn't his. Something from Elena's past is about to explode everything he thought he knew. And when it does, the millionaire who started this as a heartless bet will be the one begging to keep what he never deserved. The storm hits on a quiet Saturday. Alex is helping Elena unpack the last boxes from her old apartment when an envelope slips out, medical papers addressed to her from months before they met. He freezes as he reads the dates, the notes. The pregnancy timeline doesn't match what she told him about her ex. His mind races. Elena walks in, sees his face, and knows. Tears fill her eyes instantly. I was going to tell you, she whispers. After the baby came, I was ashamed. She sits him down and finally tells the truth. The ex, who abandoned her, wasn't the father at all. In the weeks after that breakup, heartbroken and lost, she had one reckless night with a stranger she met at a bar, someone whose name she barely remembers. When she found out she was pregnant, fear took over. She let everyone, including Alex, believe the ex was responsible because it felt safer than admitting the full truth. Alex feels the floor drop. Betrayal stings, but then he looks at her, shaking, waiting for him to walk away. And something shifts. He sees himself reflected back. All his lies, his cheating, his cruel bet. He pulls her close instead. You think I have any right to judge you, he says, voice thick. I started this whole thing as a lie. You stayed anyway. They cry together, raw and real, washing away months of half-truths. From that day, everything changes. Alex burns the bet contract in the fireplace, watches the flames eat his arrogance. He blocks Victoria forever, deletes every trace. He shows up fully, no more games. When Elena's ex keeps pushing, claiming rights, and hinting at money, Alex confronts him coldly. You had your chance and threw it away. Stay away from my family. The man backs off, exposed as the opportunist he always was. As the due date nears, another scare sends Elena into early labor. Alex never leaves her side, holding her hand through hours of pain, whispering strength when she has none left. When their daughter Sophia cries for the first time, tiny and perfect, Alex breaks completely. He holds the baby against his chest and sobs. Tears of joy, regret, gratitude. This little girl, who shares none of his blood, owns all of his heart. Tabloids explode weeks later. Marcus, bitter about losing the bet money, leaks everything. The cruel dare, the fake marriage, old photos of Alex with Victoria. Headlines scream, heartless millionaire's gold digger bride. Paparazzi camp outside. Elena, still recovering, faces cameras calling her names. But she steps forward in front of them all, voice steady. He made mistakes. So did I. But the man holding my daughter right now chose us every single day since. That's the only truth that matters. Her words silence the crowd. Marcus calls later, ashamed, and apologizes. Alex uses his wealth differently now. He started a foundation for single mothers, proper housing, medical care, job training, all inspired by the woman who saved him from himself. He learns to cook her favorite childhood meals, surprises her with handwritten letters, goes to therapy to understand why he ever thought cheating was normal. Elena teaches him patience, kindness, the beauty of small things. Their love grows in quiet moments. Midnight feedings, park walks with Sophia, laughter over spilled milk. One evening on their balcony, city lights sparkling below, Alex drops to one knee for real this time. No bet, no audience, just them. He holds out a simple ring. Marry me again, Elena. For keeps. For real. Tears stream down her face as she says yes, the word carrying every forgiven hurt and every promised tomorrow. Years pass in a blur of ordinary magic. Sophia grows, calling Alex daddy without hesitation. He adopts her legally the day the papers come through, signing with shaking hands. They renew vows in a small garden ceremony. Friends, family, daisies everywhere. Alex looks at Elena, walking toward him, and knows. The reckless bet that almost destroyed them became the greatest gift of his life. He once thought love was a weakness. Now he knows it's the only thing worth winning. And the woman who started as a stranger, pregnant and broke, gave him the family he never knew he needed. All because she chose to care when he gave her every reason not to. Hold on tight, because the Real explosion is here. The secret Elena buried deeper than Alex's bet is about to rip everything apart. And this time, the millionaire is the one on his knees. What he discovers doesn't destroy them. It forces him to become the man she always believed he could be. Tears, forgiveness, and a love stronger than any lie are coming. But only after the heartbreak hits hardest. The truth surfaces on an ordinary afternoon. Alex is helping Elena sort through the last boxes from her old life when a sealed medical envelope falls out. He picks it up, curious, and the dates on the paperwork stop him cold. The conception timeline doesn't line up with the story she told him about her ex. His stomach drops. Elena walks in, sees the envelope in his hand, and her face crumbles. She doesn't run. She sits on the floor right there and tells him everything. After her ex cheated and left, she was broken. One night, drowning in pain, she went to a bar and ended up going home with a stranger. It was one time, meaningless, and she regretted it instantly. When the pregnancy test came back positive, shame swallowed her. She let everyone believe the baby was her ex's because admitting the truth felt impossible. She was going to tell Alex after the birth, terrified he would leave if he knew sooner. Alex stares at her, waiting for anger to come. But it doesn't. Instead, he sees his own reflection. Every lie he told, every time he cheated with Victoria, the cruel bet that started it all. He drops to the floor beside her and pulls her into his arms. "You think I'm in any position to judge you," he says, voice cracking. "I hurt you first. You stayed anyway." They hold each other and cry until there are no tears left, every hidden truth finally out in the open. That night, Alex takes the printed bet contract, walks to the fireplace, and burns it page by page. He deletes Victoria's number, blocks her everywhere, erases every trace of his old life. From that moment, he chooses Elena completely. When her ex keeps texting, sniffing around now that money is involved, Alex meets him face to face. "You abandoned her. You have no claim here. Stay away from my family." The man slinks off, exposed for the opportunist he is. As Elena's belly grows rounder, another crisis hits. Early labor starts weeks too soon. Alex races her to the hospital, gripping her hand through every contraction, whispering that she's the strongest woman he's ever known. Hours later, their daughter Sophia enters the world with a fierce cry. The nurse places the tiny bundle in Alex's arms, and he breaks. Tears stream down his face as he looks at this perfect little girl who shares none of his blood, but already owns every piece of his heart. He leans over Elena, exhausted but glowing, and promises them both forever. Peace doesn't last long. Marcus, furious about losing his million, sells the story to the tabloids. Headlines scream about the heartless millionaire and his gold digger bride. Paparazzi swarm the hospital exit. Elena, still weak from delivery, faces flashing cameras calling her ugly names. But she steps forward, baby in her arms, and speaks clearly into the microphones. "Yes, it started with a bet. Yes, we both made mistakes. But the man who held my hand through labor and cries every time he holds our daughter, that man chose us. Every single day. That's the only story that matters." The crowd falls silent. Marcus watches the clip later, ashamed, and calls to apologize. Alex changes everything. He launches a foundation for struggling single mothers. Housing, medical bills, childcare, pouring millions into the cause that saved his own soul. He learns to cook Elena's favorite recipes from her childhood, leaves handwritten love notes on her pillow, starts therapy to understand why he ever thought cheating was acceptable. Elena shows him how to live simply. Long walks in the park, picnics with Sophia, laughter over nothing. Their love grows in the everyday moments that money can't buy. One quiet evening on a balcony, city lights twinkling below, Alex gets down on one knee. This time there's no bet, no audience, just a simple ring and raw honesty. "Marry me again, Elena. For real. Forever." She says yes through happy tears, and they kiss as Sophia sleeps peacefully inside. Years fly by in beautiful, ordinary days. Sophia grows strong and fearless, calling Alex daddy from her first word. The day he legally adopts her, he signs the papers with shaking hands, finally whole. They renew their vows in a small garden surrounded by daisies, friends cheering as Elena walks toward him in a simple white dress. Alex once believed love was for weak people. Now he knows it's the only thing worth fighting for. The reckless bet that could have ruined two lives became the miracle that saved them both. All because one woman chose to love him through every lie, and he finally learned to love her back without holding anything back.